course, life will go on. It always does. But how? What twists and turns it will take, I can't say. I don't know what the future holds. Except to say, expect the unexpected. Oliver may be gone, but his mission endures. That mission lives on. Oliver lives on in the people he inspired. Some will take that mission to the rest of the world. Maybe even beyond that. Because if the past 8 years has shown us anything, it's that this universe is far bigger than any of us could have dared imagine. Even if it is a little less bright, without him in it.
So guys, it finally happened. After years of me saying it on YouTube, don't believe me? Just type in Green Lantern War Stew Arrow. I've been saying this on YouTube for years. 3 years ago I made a video. 2 years ago I made a video. Will Green Lantern finally appear in Arrow Season 6 after all the teases? So it was Arrow's final season this year, though technically Arrow ended last year. I don't really count this year as a season of Arrow because the main narrative was based around Crisis on Infinite Earth, which you can judge for that yourself down below. Was it a good crossover? Was it not? So we're going to talk about the ending teaser. Is John Diggle, is David Ramsey going to be Green Lantern in the HBO Max series that they're developing? Well, pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much confirmed, guys. Why? Because why would they do this tease right at the end of a show when John Diggle is doing the eulogy, I guess you could say the voiceover, saying that everyone's got to move on, everything's going to change. Boom, he's hit. Boom, he sees a ring. I was a bit disappointed in a way about this, the fact that it took him 7 years to do it. But it is pretty interesting. It is interesting. Now, I was a bit disappointed that the ring wasn't handed down to him. He just found it after something crashed and hit him. It's finally happening, guys. I'm so excited in a way, but not as much, because this should have happened years ago with all the Lantern teasers. There's been multiple Green Lanterns on the table throughout this whole show. We had the Hal Jordan pilot jacket. There have been so many teasers for this happening throughout the whole of the Arrowverse, not just during Crisis on Earth X, not just because of the Flash's comment there. We knew this was coming for years and years and years and years. But why did it take so long for it finally to happen? Now, one thing I didn't like is when an actor basically ruins something. So the actor that plays Green Lantern now, I guess you could say John Diggle, David Ramsey, basically confirmed that we were going to get an answer in the final episode. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that John Diggle will become the Green Lantern in the HBO Max show, but there was a Green Lantern teaser during the ending of Crisis on Infinite Earth. Now, I am very excited to see where this is going to go. Now, he does have a good enough following. He does have a good enough acting ability to pull it off. I just can't see them teasing this and then it not going anywhere. Now, there are rumors and stuff that he will appear in the final episode of Flash for him. I guess you say episode 10, which is the well, I guess that's the first episode back after the, I guess you could say, the mid-season finale or the ending of Crisis on Infinite Earth, I guess you could say. So, as we know, they are developing a Green Lantern show. I'm pretty sure Greg Berlanti is involved, and Greg Berlanti has been involved with Arrow shows in previous years. Now, I don't really do much research for these videos anymore because I haven't really covered this kind of stuff that much recently. But as one of the original content creators on Flash and Arrow, I really wanted to talk about this. So I've been reading a bunch of articles from Screen Rant and stuff, and essentially saying how Arrow's John Diggle can appear in the, I guess, HBO Max show. Now, it is interesting that the continuity could cross over with the Arrowverse, although now that Arrow is technically dead, although he's not actually dead, he just can't come back to the living world, so to speak. If you've seen Arrow this week, you would know what I mean. But it is interesting. Diggle has always deserved his own spin-off. Now, this isn't particularly him getting his own spin-off, but David Ramsey could be Jon Stewart while still keeping the Diggle legacy alive with the new Canary show, because I'm pretty sure he is going to appear somewhere. Now, Crisis on Infinite Earth may have already set the idea up. One of the biggest takeaways from Crisis on Infinite Earth was the reboot that caused the Arrowverse shows all to move to one Earth and have a fresh continuity. Although, if you watch woke programs like Batwoman, the fact that there's two Beths, one calls herself Alice, one's a nutter, and one's a Beth from a different universe, it's basically being pushed to this universe because Batwoman obviously wished that she came back. So it does kind of get a new continuity, but I just see it as a massive freaking plot hole. You know, here on this channel, I don't pander, I don't snowflake, I don't literally say things I don't mean. If I say something, I mean it. So now this all changes the fact that Earth Prime may have already seeded the idea that Diggle will embrace his Stewart connection. Because although Diggle and his stepfather had rough history before making amends on Earth 1 back in Arrow Season 7, the event of Earth Prime may have shifted a diversity to the point where Diggle embraces both names. If he had his strong chance with General Stewart from the get-go, it's plausible that Diggle went by the name John Diggle Stewart, although they didn't make this clear in the final episode. Like I said, as a finale, the episode was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It served a purpose. But like I said, guys, to me, Arrow died last year. So while it remains status quo what's happening with this, we know the Green Lantern Corps on Earth Prime. The crossover plays Berlanti's up-and-coming Cirrus as part of the Arrowverse multiverse during a montage of the new multiverse. Footage from 2011 Green Lantern was used to establish the TV part. The Arrowverse, since several of Berlanti's DC Universe shows became canon, it might suggest the crossover between the CW and streaming platforms are more plausible. Then you have to factor in the fact that Ezra Miller from the DCEU crossovered into Arrowverse, so I fully believe that Diggle can serve as a bridge between CW and HBO Max if they are going to make this happen. Now, it's not clear if he is, but then it's like I've been talking to a bunch of people who are still invested in Arrow. I don't know why, but yeah, Arrow was one of the greatest TV shows when it comes to comic book for sure, definitely. Although I do believe, like I keep saying, that it ended last season. This season was literally just for a crossover, which was pointless. Now, while Crisis on Infinite Earth never makes it definitely clear the CW and HBO Max could potentially cross paths in the future, given that Warner Media fully owns the up-and-coming service, as well as having 50% control of the CW, it should theoretically not be impossible to make this happen. Figuring out production schedules would be the biggest issue because we don't know when they're shooting that, and the Arrowverse shows generally shoot all year round, so that could be a big issue. Having Ramsey star in HBO Max Green Lantern would incorporate a bit of Earth Prime on Earth 12 to fully sell the idea of the inclusion in the Arrowverse, with a series set to feature two Lanterns on Earth. Diggle could serve the role whilst also setting up the idea of Green Lantern one day exploring the multiverse, allowing Diggle to go on his own adventure even if it's not on another Earth. It could be pretty cool, and I am really down for that idea, but I can't let this happen a big TV event like this happen, not talk about it, because I know I've not really done much Flash or Arrow on the channel recently. But like I said, guys, just put on YouTube Green Lantern, War Stew, Arrow. I've been saying this for years, and it's so cool when something you thought plays off and pans out. Like, this has got nothing to do with the crossover. I said this literally years ago. It's one of my best Arrow videos, one of my biggest Arrow videos. Back, it says here 2 years ago. I did a video 3 years ago. It's got like 155 views. Green Lantern, head into Arrow season 5. So I've been talking about this for years. So it's not just a case that like I'm saying I'm right. It's like, dudes, I've been saying this for such a long time. So I'm so happy that potentially he is getting his own show. Now, I would be really invested in a Green Lantern show if he was going to be Green Lantern, because why would they tease this up? They're not going to give you fan service for no reason. I mean, Arrow was trending, Green Lantern was trending worldwide, so they are clearly doing something here. So like always, guys, let me know what you thought about the finale. I thought the finale was fine. It was a bit meh. I mean, I do appreciate everything Stephen Amell's done for Arrow, and I think he's like amazing. But as a season, this season wasn't very good. This season, like I put it down there, one of the worst seasons. But like I said, the season should have ended after last season. This whole season literally made no sense. It literally made no sense. It just felt like a pilot for Crisis on Infinite Earth, and also a pilot for this new Canary show that obviously I'm going to have to watch because Katie Cassidy is obviously the main star of it. So like always, guys, let me know. Are they building up to HBO Max Green Lantern show? Maybe. It's got to be in there. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.